So I need money, man. Gotta feed the monkey. Anyway, so here's the netting. What I did is I measured out a 2x4, just to span in between the rafters, cut it to size. I'm gonna have to do that. We're gonna measure. I haven't got much done on the cabin, with the exception of my cousin came over, put the door on. We didn't do a video of that because it's just kind of like spur of the moment thing. He came over to get his chainsaw, and he's like, oh, by the way, let's put this door on. So he helped me out with that, and that's helping keep a lot of the warm air in. You see, I got home one night after work. I was like, you know what? I'm going to start sleeping in the cabin. So I got home after dark, wrapped it all in plastic. But if you see at the top there, there's still a whole lot of gaps in there where it's drafty and allowing the heat to escape. And originally I thought that, well, maybe, you know, since such a small cabin, it won't be that big of a deal. But when I turn this jet kerosene heater on, it will heat up the cabin. It'll get pretty toasty in here. But then in just only a matter of minutes, so maybe 15 at the most, it's already chilly, and, you know, got to get in the sleeping bag or be bundled up or something. It gets cold in here. So show you what I got. I still got to put up some of the paneling, but I have to wait till it gets warm to do that. But I'm going to do that this next nice day I get, and it'll be pretty much dried in. I do got to put the trim in, as you can see down here. It's not a big deal. Where the panels didn't quite match up on the studs, you know, we had to adjust. I have to put another little piece of 4x4 down there and this little strip of panel. And once I put the trim up where all the panels meet, it's pretty much gonna be dried in. I'm gonna seal it up, everything real nice, and that'll take care of that issue. But the one I have to deal with now, so since it's raining, I gotta work tonight and tomorrow night, and then it's still supposed to be rainy, snowy, and all that. So I'm not expecting to be able to get a whole lot done on the outside during my next 3 days off. So I'm going to turn my attention to what I can get done. And what I can get done is insulating the ceiling. But first, I need to put some venting up here, something to block the squirrels, birds out, and but still allow airflow to come through. And I want to show you what I've done. My idea, and you guys tell me what you think. You know, whether you like it or whether you don't. This is how I chose to address the situation. I did not want to box the eaves in. I want this place to look rustic, and if I'm afraid I'll do that, it's going to look too modern. I don't want to box the eaves in. I want you to be able to see the rafters when you come outside, and, you know, kind of maybe look like a, you know, a Cracker Barrel. Maybe reminds you of Cracker Barrel a little bit. Love that place. They're not sponsoring the video, by the way, but y'all can send me a check anytime. So I need money, man. Got to feed the monkey. Anyway. So here's the netting. What I did is I measured out a 2x4, just to span in between the rafters, cut it to size. I'm gonna have to do that. I gotta measure out and cut to size each one, because, you know, with me not being a experienced builder, these aren't gonna be the exact same size. It might get me pretty close, but I'm gonna measure them anyway. And then I took some hardware cloth, snipped it out, and stapled to the 2x4, to the rafters and purlins and everything like that. And that should keep the birds and squirrels out. I want to get some different size nails. I'm running out of framing nails, and they're expensive. I think for this, I can go with a shorter nail, and it'll still do the job very well. And this will also provide some dead wood, but however, when I run the insulation in here and the boards up here, I don't think I'll really need the dead wood, but the wood does have an R value, and it'll help keep you know, some of the heat in, but you need that airflow, and that's what that's for. So we'll see how that works. Let me know what you think. If you think that's gonna work, why not? You know, like always, just be nice about it. Don't cost anybody a thing to be nice and be kind. It ain't gonna hurt my feelings either way. But I do appreciate y'all being kind. So I'm gonna show you how I make these vents real quick. All right, so when I measured between the next set of rafters, I came 22 3/8, a little bit shorter than the one that I cut previously. So I'll go ahead and mark that real quick. Throw a speed square up there. Say, mark it, dude. This makes it a little bit easier. safety glasses on. And then just for the sake of easiness, start a couple of pilot holes. Now I want to nail these in at an angle. So what I'm going to do is just barely go in, and then I'm going to go down. And when I'm not trying to video, that actually goes a lot smoother and a lot faster. But that's how I'll do that. And I'll do the other side. Alright, so I got that piece snugged in there, and I just got the nails tacked on. I may take those out, put those shorter nails in there, kind of save my framing nails since I'm running out. So I still got a chicken coop, dog house, and a goat house to build later on. But anyway, you come back and measure. See, that was 22 and you know, about 3/8. There's a little bit of gap there, but it's not a big deal. Actually, this was a scrap piece of wood with a bevel cut, so I lost a little bit when I had to trim it up. It's all right, I can hit that up a foam sealer if I don't want it there, but this is to vent the building anyway, to vent the roof. So anyway, what I want to do is go about 1 inch overlap on each end and each side. So since this is about 23 or 22 and 3/8, probably going to go, I think probably about 24 inches would be enough right there. That'll give me enough overhang on each side. Want to be safe, I can take that out to, you know, probably about 24 and a half. And last piece, I'm going to put 4 inches on to give me all that overlap to cover this gap. And I think that might be a good way to go for this one too. Alright, small piece of hardware cloth for my vent. Alright, I hope y'all can see that well enough and give this a shot. So, could put it in like that, and that'll work. It kind of goes along with the curve of everything, makes it a little easier to work with. Now it's going to kind of place that in there, and this hardware cloth will bend with you, and it makes it easier to use. Let's see, hope you can see that. I got just, and that wasn't very hard. See, now over here, I kind of want to put this gap up a little bit, so I'm just kind of take that out just a little bit. And the same thing, just kind of press it up there, kind of adjust it. And I got plenty of overhang, and I went just a little bit wider, or I'm sorry, a little bit wider than 4 inches. Because when I did the measurements, that 4-inch mark didn't really come out in a gap, so I just went a little bit. It's always better to go a little bit wider versus being a little bit shorter. And give me 3 top and bottom, as long as they go in good. There may be some better things to use than these staples. I'm gonna put 2 on each end. That's what I have. And since money is a thing that I'm trying to save, not spend too much of, I'm going with what I have on that. I don't think it's really gonna matter much. And then, let's take my hammer and make sure those staples are set in. I might put another one right there, because that one didn't end right there. Those 2 didn't really go in that well. And that's okay. You can always add another one. All right, now I'll put one more right there for good measure. Staples are still relatively cheap. All right, I hope you was able to see that. And this is how I chose to vent these in. So a lot of people have commented, it's actually came up here, or haven't seen the videos, like, wow, that's going up fast, really moving fast on that cabin. And of course, you know, I did have some help. I didn't do this completely by myself, but I did work alone a lot. But once I get something figured out, the most difficult thing for me to do is figure out how to go about doing something. So since I figured out how I want to do my venting and the exact steps, now I can get a system down. As you can see, I only got 2. This entire cabin. Of course, the cabin's not big, but that's going to take a little while to get done. So to speed up the process, I'm not going to do each one of them just the way I showed you in that order. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take all my measurements, and then I'm going to go back and cut each piece after taking those measurements. So I'm going to take, you know, however many spans this is. I'm not a mathematician. Let's say I've got 18 more to do. I'm going to make 18 measurements. I'm going to write them down, and then I'm going to make 18 cuts. Once I get those boards cut, I'm going to drill starter holes in every one of those boards. And then once I'm done with that, then I can place those boards up there, get them nailed in, nail all the boards all the way across. And then I can go measure my hardware cloth. When it comes to the hardware cloth, I'm going to take a little bit slower. I'm probably going to measure each one, cut it, staple it up, and then move to the next piece of hardware cloth, if that makes sense. But always look for those systems that work for you, that make it easier, make it faster. I do want this thing to go up fast, but I want it to go up safe, and I want it to go up, you know, right, I guess you say. You know, quality is a thing too. It's not all about the speed. But I am cold, and I want to get this thing insulated in. So I got to work the next couple of days. So during the couple of hours that I'm, you know, waiting on going into work, you know, maybe I'll wake up a little early. That's going to be my job, is to knock those out. Now, real quick, now I'm pretty sure I shared with you what I want to do with these windows. I had a couple of sliding glass doors that I wasn't going to use, but the glass was still good. It's double paned. I thought, man, that'd be good to reuse that. And these are like 73 by 34 inches, something like that. It's something to that effect. So anyway, rainy day the other day, and I'm like, hey, I got some time. Can't really get the outside of the cabin finished. So what can I do? I said, well, I'm gonna clean up those glass panels. Get ready to put those in. I have to go back here and turn some lights on for you. So I'm pretty excited about it. I was like, you know, it's not the big thing I wanted to get accomplished today, but it's going to get me a step closer. I was like, maybe even I can go ahead and get these pieces of glass in and get them tacked in there, and they'll keep some of that heat from escaping the cabin. So it'll be a little bit dark. I picked this thing up and I didn't drop it or anything like that, but in my hands, and I broke my own rule. I didn't have my safety glasses on. Usually if I'm working on anything at all with tools or anything, I have my safety glasses on, but I never imagined in 100 years this thing would shatter in my hands. And I did feel a piece hit my cheek. I was very fortunate not to get any of that in my eye. Yeah, so I'm just talking about it here. Maybe the vibration from my voice just made that fall. So as I'm talking here, you might see the rest of it fall. Yep, there it goes. But anyway, you know what to do now. It's not a game changer. It might cost me a little bit of extra money or a lot of extra money. Right now, I'm looking at Facebook Marketplace and offer up to see if I can find somebody that has some sliding doors that are that same size. Maybe I need to go a little bit smaller, and that'll be a little bit more trim work, a little bit more, you know, 2x4s. Or maybe I can just go to Home Depot and buy some actual windows to go in it. I don't know. That's a lot more money than I was planning on spending. But they got to get in there. I know it really help keep the heat out. But hey, I shared that with you just to say things don't always go as planned. It's not, you know, it doesn't mean that you can't build or anything like that. It's going to slow you down a little bit. It's going to be a little bit discouraging, you know, but as we always say in the military, you got to keep moving forward. If you stop, that's when you get shot, right? So just keep moving forward. Put one foot in front of another. Figure out what you can do now. And then, you know, reassess and see, you know, how you can fix that mistake or fix that obstacle that was just set in front of you. Anyway, all right, got all the vents done. Let me show you what I did here. Started using staples, and I was like, well, you know, nails in some of these places might hold a little better. So I nailed where I could just to give that hardware cloth a better hold. But I think that's going to work. I think that's going to provide the airflow that we need. Now, I'll show you what else I'm doing with the insulation real quick. I bought some radiant barrier. Let me put this down so you can see it here. So this is the roll of Everbuilt dull reflective insulation. It doesn't have a very big R value, and I think for the purpose that I'm using it for, it doesn't have any R value. But what it does, it reflects the heat that's coming in, and it's supposed to keep it cooler in the summertime and warmer in the wintertime. Show you what that looks like the way I installed it. I just did that with staples. And you'll see the insulation running right beside it. I'll put the insulation up afterwards. And let me show you what I bought here. So these are the fiberglass bats. I got it for 2x4 walls, but my joists are 2x6. And the reason for that is the thickness, right? If I got you might be thinking, well, you need like R30 something, you know, for your ceiling. But if I went with the R30 that I found at the stores, it's going to be at least 6 inches thick, and that wouldn't allow me any airflow between the tin and the insulation. So with this one, 3.5 inches is the thickness. So there's going to be about, you know, 3 inches between the radiant barrier and the insulation. And I want to show you what that looks like. We'll get up on the ladder here. You can see down to the other side, so there's plenty of gap in between the insulation and the radiant barrier. You can actually see the daylight on the other side. So I put up this test piece, if you will, because I wanted to put it up and kind of get an idea of how I was going to install all this before I start recording it. It was a little bit difficult. Just the paper on the insulation, ripping, just a little heavy or whatever. It'd be better if maybe I had an extra person, but nobody likes to put in insulation. So it makes you itchy and stuff like that. But this stuff looks real soft. I'm not going to bathe in it or anything, but maybe I won't have any issues. All right, I'll set this camera up and I'll give you a view of how I'm installing it. I'll do the radiant barrier and then the insulation, and then I'll finish it all up, and hopefully tomorrow we can start putting up the rest of the panels and get this thing truly dried in. It's supposed to be a little bit sunny tomorrow, so hopefully get outside and do some work outdoors. Run out of staples really quick doing this. Be sure to buy plenty of staples when you're doing installation or hanging up radiant barrier. Buy boxes because you're going to go through a lot of them. Alright, so that's how long it takes. You know, once you get your system down, get your flow, that's how long it takes to put the radiant barrier up. It's not too bad. Now, something I want to show you on this installation, if you ever decide to do it. That looks like all the lip, right? Like that's what you got to work with. But if you just reach under there, this right here actually, that lip comes out twice as far. So whenever I unfold it on top of the ladder, I'm going to stretch all that out before I put it up. See how I did that? And it's sitting up there pretty good, just like the other one. Not too bad, but yeah, I do wear a mask just in case this insulation is carrying COVID. I'm just kidding. It's the fibers. I'm not sure with this type of insulation. I know the older stuff, you don't want to breathe that in. I don't see anything flying around. It feels soft, but you know, just to be safe, I'm gonna wear the mask. Now, you go back and look it over, and you see right there, I just completely, well, looks like I tried to staple it, but it came out. So I just want to look at those places and, you know, go back and fix what came undone or whatever. But, you know, it's not too difficult. It's a little awkward. You're on the ladder. Take your time, you know, don't get in a rush because how you fall, and especially if you're working by yourself like me. But it's just the way I do it. Again, it's not an instructional video. You might see something that don't quite look right. If you do, please let me know in the comments below. But this is just how I do it, and I hope that if anything else, I'm encouraging you to, you know, try to build. A lot of folks in the Facebook groups I'm a part of, I'll post things and I'm like, I need to work up that amount of courage. You know, just start building. Just start. You'll make mistakes and it's okay. All right, I gotta share this with you. Hopefully you can hear me on the microphone well enough. But here in Southeast Tennessee, it is coming down pretty good. Raining, the wind is blowing, and I showed you earlier that I haven't finished, you know, put up all the siding. I still got a couple of windows to put in. One of them broke, but the wind is blowing all this plastic off of the cabin, and that is a shame. I mean, it's been raining so much here that I haven't been able to get to it. But what do, you know? Hopefully it doesn't get too wet in here. I'm going to try to put up a few more pieces of that radiant barrier. I probably won't put up any more insulation until the wind goes away. It is supposed to clear up tomorrow, so hopefully I can get it dried in tomorrow, and then maybe do the insulation, you know, another day, finish that up. But the main thing is I need to get it the cabin dried in, get the stain on it, the sealant so it can repel water. I don't know if it's going to dry up good enough tomorrow to be able to do it. The day after tomorrow is my birthday. I was wanting to go crappie fishing in my kayak, but we'll see. I really got to get this cabin done. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you again so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Appreciate all y'all just give me support, messages of encouragement. And if you happen to hit that dislike button, just leave me a message. Why? You know, is it you didn't like my dancing? You didn't like the way it was editing? I am learning a lot on editing. So many cool things you can do. I'll think about like Coghill Farm and Bush Radical. They just got some really cool things they do with as far as their editing. But I'm learning. I don't mind that you hit the dislike button, but I kind of, you know, wonder what it is about it you don't like, because I do make these videos for you guys as well as myself and my kids, but I want you to be able to enjoy them. So if there's something that you like to see, something you'd like to see done different or better, go ahead and let me know. If you don't like my dancing, I want to keep dancing. You're not going to see it in this video, but from time to time I'll drop some dances. I'll drop some messages of encouragement, maybe some Bible verses, and you know, I hope y'all enjoy that. But anyway, love y'all. Thanks for watching again. Another quick message, one of my favorite verses in the Bible, and I've always posted on my work emails and things like that, and it's mostly just a reminder for myself. James says, be slow to speak, quick to listen, and be slow to anger. Not necessarily in that order. But anyway, being quick to listen and slow to speak, slow to anger, that really is